on, we have Mr. Sheikh Haq from ISW. He's going to come up on stage and he's going to give an update on the activities that we see ISW does in the community. While Mr. Sheikh comes up, I'm going to give some interesting facts about India. Bailey Bridge is the highest bridge in the world, and this bridge is in Himalayas. In the year 1982, Indian Army built this bridge between Ladakh Valley between Dras and Suru. So this is the world's highest bridge. And also, India, as you know, is the birthplace for chess. How many of you chess? How many of you know chess? Very good. And India has the world's third largest road network with 1.9 million miles. And it's the second largest in the rail network. All right? I think Mr. Sheikh is here. So I'll hand over to Mr.
Thank you so much. Hello everyone. How is everyone doing?
Great.
Awesome. Thank you. It's amazing to see the festive spirit, the colors and the light around this room. It's one of my favorite times of the year because I get to eat good food and I get to claim gifts. But besides that, it's amazing. Thank you so much for putting on such an amazing program tonight. I'm here to talk a little bit about ISW activities and what we do throughout the year. ISW is a lot like today's program. There is something for everyone. We have a whole portfolio of cultural events, sporting events. We do a lot for people from all ages, all the way from children to youth to young adults to adults, and even for seniors in the community. And I'm going to touch upon some of those programs today. Besides that, we also have activities like a language and cultural school. I hope I'm synchronized with the slides. I don't want to get out. Maybe I'll just come forward and speak that way. I don't synchronize. I don't want people, I see a lot of people seeing this, so I want to make sure that I'm speaking to the same thing. Can you hear me? Good. Actually, can we go a little bit? Yeah, let's start. Yeah, thanks. And again, before I go to the cultural events and all that, I just wanted to say a little bit about what we do. That way you get a feel of all the activities that ISW does, because that way you can know and be associated with the society, hopefully someday. Besides the cultural activities that I'm going to cover today, we also have a lot around the language and cultural school that I talked about. We have a program for a youth group where they conduct their own activities. They take charge and raise money, do cultural events and things like that. We also have programs for senior citizens where they get together, talk about issues. I know there is Rajiv Dayal, our president, they will talk a little bit about the crisis committee and things like that. So I'm going to touch upon a little bit around the cultural activities. And the way I'm going to talk is about, we'll go through the year. We start with spring. And in spring, some of the major events that ISW conducts is, we have Spring Dhamaka, which is essentially a program for song and dance, and you enjoy, people dress up and enjoy that event. We have something called Kavi Sammelan. It's poets from India who come and they talk about, they basically talk about the poetry with a touch of laughter and humor in it. And things of that nature. Then we have certain religious events, like pujas, Ram Navami, and Gudi Padwa is another one of them. We have a singing competition, that's Antakshari competition, that's there. We do that. We also organize a camping trip where a bunch of families go and camp. This year we went to a new place, Camp Resolute in Bolton. And then last but not the least, we have a hiking trip to Mount Washington. So I hope there are some hikers around here, and we probably choose a different place every year, and we may go there and do that. So hopefully you can see a lot of the variety of programs that we have and things that may interest you and that you want to enjoy. These are some of the pictures from all the events that I talked about. So again, the central theme is there's something for everyone. And from the pictures, as you can see, everybody is having fun and enjoying whatever they're doing. As we move on, I talked about India Youth Group. This is essentially an organization of youth who come together and they form a group and they do a lot of activities. And the activities could be organizing a cultural program, which is Showcase India, happens around the April time frame. And besides that, they do another important event, which is Holi. Holi, for all those you know, it's a festival of colors in India where we just throw colors at each other. And they do that with the senior citizens. They go there and do that with the senior citizens. And as you can see, there are a bunch of pictures out here where they go and enjoy Holi. Besides that, this group also does fundraising, Walk for Cancer, and a bunch of other activities that they get. And this is, by the way, completely managed by the youth. They have their own executive committee that runs it. It teaches them how to be disciplined in life, how to manage finances, and most importantly, how to get engaged in the community and help the community and give something back. So for those of you with kids and youth, please consider this and please think about joining this group. Moving on, we also have a lot of sports and cultural activities. We have an Asian festival where a lot of the Asian cultures come together and they have food, there are a bunch of other things, and India Society puts up a camp with India as the central focus and theme. We have cricket and carom tournaments. These are sports played back in India, so hopefully most of you can come and join one of these events in the future. And we also have seminars. We have seminars to cover topics like things that are important to us in the society today, job fairs. We also have seminars around many other things like careers and things associated with anything that interests you. It could be something related to jobs, something related to political events, something related to anything that is of importance in today's society. These are, again, some of the pictures from these events. Moving on, the marquee event, probably the largest event for India Society is India Day. I shouldn't say probably, it is the largest event for India Society. This is about 5,000 people have attended this program for the last 2 years when we have moved from Italian Church in Worcester to DCU Center. It happens in DCU Center around August every year. For the last 2 years we have done it in DCU Center, about gotten 5,000 people to attend. It's essentially a free event. It's filled with cultural programs, food. There's a lot of stalls and vendors come and sell things like clothing, jewelry. There are vendors that come in from banks, insurance companies, anything that relates to something that is important to you in your life, you'll find it here. And most importantly, it is an event to come and connect back to the culture in India and just have fun. So please consider attending this next year. Happens at DCU Center. It's a lot of fun and it's a lot of activities packed in one single day. Something important. And again, these are pictures from this year's event. The hall, as you can see, is decked up with so much color and so much. You can see kids performing and again, this is an activity for people of all ages. Everyone can at least take something from this. One of the most, sorry, thank you. Sorry for doing that to you. One of the most important highlights of India Day is a parade that we do, and this is a parade of Indian states. A lot of Indian states, different Indian states come together They march down the hall in DCU Center, and this is just some snippets and pictures of this year. You can see all the different states being represented here, and they just march down in their traditional clothes. They sing in their language, and they sing kind of, they basically, again, bring and represent their culture and their state in this parade. So it's a lot of fun here. Last but not the least, our volunteers are always busy. We have something, as I mentioned, going on through the whole year. And some of the other events that happen through the year for ISW is the Navratri Garba. Then we also have a Diwali cultural show. This year, for the first time, we also did a Diwali show at Worcester Arts Museum. A special one that we did there. Then we also participate in Spirit of Shrewsbury. And there we also do something called Kids Got Talent. It's a showcase for kids to come and perform and again show some of the talents that they have. It could be singing, it could be acting, it could be anything. And then I guess the most important thing is our Christmas celebration here that we are having today. So that's another very important event, and as Ashish mentioned earlier, 10 years. These are some snippets again from some of these programs. I'm going to end today's thing on number one, thanking each and every one of you. Continuing to do something like this for 10 years is a huge achievement, and I'm looking forward to 10, 20 more years ahead. So thank you for that. I'm also going to request that you consider joining India Society of Worcester as a volunteer or as a member, and please get involved in one or many of the activities that we do. There's something for everyone to do, and from sports, cultural events, to language and cultural school, to the health stop clinic that we have, to the senior citizens, there's a lot. Please check us online, iswonline.org. Again, that's our website, iswonline.org. And also, please like us on Facebook. We are on Facebook, and we post most of our events and updates on Facebook, so please check us out there. Thank you very much for your time.
Hello everyone. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah. I invite my friend Jim Kay. He is a Town of Shrewsbury Board of Selectmen Vice Chair, and he is bringing special greetings from town.
While Jim comes up, how about trivia about Shrewsbury for a change, right? Town of Shrewsbury is the second largest city in New England. How many of you live in Shrewsbury? Wow, that's good. Wonderful school system. Let me give you two more facts and then I'll hand it over to Jim here. As of December 2015, there are 36,114 people live in Shrewsbury. There are 13,500 households. And in year 2013, this city or town is ranked 15th, 15, best city to live in the United States. Right? So this is, you can find this on, time.com/money. You can go there, you can get all this information. And then first white chocolate came from this town. How many of you love white chocolate? First white chocolate came from this town. Jim, it's all yours.
Thank you and good evening. Merry Christmas to everyone here.
Merry Christmas.
I would like to just take a quick moment and thank everyone who puts this together. It's difficult to pull together an event for 1 year in a row, let alone 10 years in a row. So I would just like to recognize everyone who's worked hard to pull this together, as well as our public facilities team, who I think I see sitting right in the back, and all the great work you've done to create a wonderful facility. I'd just like to take a moment to speak about my involvement in ISW. I haven't been particularly involved in terms of doing anything, but I've had the opportunity to attend India Day that was up on the board a few moments ago. I'll tell you, for an Irish kid growing up in Marlborough, that was quite an experience. Now, I can't imagine the hours of work and planning that went into that day to make it such a success. But it shows the commitment of the membership of ISW and everything that you folks do to bring your culture to our region and our town. I will tell you once again, when my wife Hannah and I found our home in Shrewsbury, and I told my grandmother in Marlborough, 7.5 miles east of here, that we were moving to Shrewsbury, she went, "Shrewsbury?" You would have thought we were saying Seattle or something like that, because it was absolutely 7 miles away. But then I was able to say, "Grandma, it's this side of Spags." So she said, "Oh, okay, that's all right." Because for a guy growing up in Marlborough, the furthest point west you really ever went was Spags. So as I look out across this room tonight and I'm reminded of how far away India is, and the fact that you folks in many cases have simply come here for school or in some way, shape or form found yourself in central Massachusetts, I must admit that I'm amazed by that. It's a gutsy move. I'm not so sure it's a move that I could make, just to be perfectly honest with you. So I give each and every one of you a credit for coming to Massachusetts, for contributing as you do, and specifically for contributing to our town. Frankly, there's many of us who would like to see you getting more involved in town, doing more in town, running for town meeting, putting your resumes in to serve on various boards and commissions, because you have a lot to give to our town. The town is wide open, we welcome people, and we're sincere in that welcoming. I would like to just mention one last thing before I ask my chairman, Mo DiPaolo, to join me, and that is I would just like to thank the leadership of ISW. Each event requires strong leadership. This evening, India Day, which we saw up on the screen, but specifically to run an organization as complicated and sophisticated and with such an outreach effort as ISW. I want to thank you for that work and for the work that you've done in our town to benefit all of us. And one last thing, I know I've said that 3 times, but one last thing. I do want to recognize how your community is specifically committed to our public schools. And the work that's done, the volunteer hours, and the commitment to enhance our public schools is truly appreciated. I would now like to ask my colleague and our chairman, Mo DiPaolo, to join me up here for specific Christmas greetings from the Board of Selectmen and the town of Shrewsbury to each of you. Mo?
Good evening. Good evening. Merry Christmas and happy holiday season. I have to say, this is it's kind of overwhelming. I didn't expect this big a group. It's one of the biggest groups that I've had the privilege to address in the past several years. And I think it shows your spirit for the holidays, it shows your spirit for community, and I think that's great. On behalf of the town, and behalf of the Board of Selectmen, I'd like to wish you all a Merry Christmas and invite you into our community, into the government, as Mr. Kane said. We ask you to get involved. You have a rich, rich culture. You obviously have a very dynamic group, and we'd like to have you more involved in town government. So if you have any questions on that, we'd be happy to talk to you about it, but please get involved. You know, I grew up in Shrewsbury, and 50 years ago, 60 years ago, it was a very small town, and it's grown, obviously, tremendously to be 36,000 people. And within that growth, we've had a great growth in diversity and a great growth in culture. And it's really enriched this town. And it's great. And we're glad that you all picked Shrewsbury to come to live, because it does make our community a richer community. You know, Jim said he traveled from Marlborough to Shrewsbury. I never left Shrewsbury, and my big trip was going to Boston. And I lived across the street from this school up until a few years ago. And one of my neighbors had come here from India to work in one of the computer companies. I don't know if it was Digital or Data General, I can't remember. But he got caught in that tech bubble. And we were talking one day, and he said, I have to say goodbye. I'm moving to Austin, Texas. For me, Austin, Texas is a long way away. The furthest I had been, really, had been Chicago. And I said, wow, that is a big, big move. I can't believe you're going to move that many miles from here. And he said, I came from India, it was 18,000 miles. I think I can move 1,500. So I guess it's all on your point of view, it gives you your perspective. I will give you just 2 bits of trivia, no prizes, but a couple of trivia items about Christmas. The first one is that modern Christmas, as we know it and we celebrate it in the United States now, actually started in New York City, believe it or not. And there's a whole story that goes along with that, but Christmas originally was a pagan holiday, and it was a big drinking holiday in this country, and it was raucous, and the powers that be decided that they needed to calm it down and make it more of a family event. And they worked with the church and melded a religious holiday into a secular holiday. That's how it started in this country. That's how the gift giving, the whole thing, the way we know it, evolved. That's the first piece of trivia. Second piece of trivia is, and I'll ask you the question and see if you know the answer. Santa Claus, as we know Santa Claus now, from the 20th century, do you know how that started? Or how that image started?
St. Nicholas?
No. No. That was going way back. This is the modern Santa Claus that we all envision with the white beard, big heavy guy. Anybody? Coca-Cola, exactly. It was part of an ad campaign for Coca-Cola. He went from a skinny little guy to this big round guy with a white beard, and that's, you know, commercialism is just so great in America. It's like, it touches everything. But anyways, I just again want to wish you a very, very happy holiday season, Merry Christmas, and God bless you all. Thank you.